Hi everybody, this is Marlene with Miami Ghost Chronicles, Stories of the Supernatural, and today is August 21st, 2017, Eclipse Day. I'm in this getup because I happen to be filming something for Halloween, so I had to stop and make this video because there's so many interesting things going on that are tied into this eclipse that I said, hold on, let me take a break, go ahead and record this, and then I'll get back and keep on working. Never a dull moment. But anyway, first of all, I'm sure everybody's aware that, today is going to be not only an eclipse, but a very unusual eclipse that's very seldom seen. And the truth is that there's two types. There's solar and there's lunar eclipses. However, most myths or lores that are associated with eclipses always have a constant theme, which is that's always like some sort of disruption to the established order. Okay, and maybe possibly from ancient times is that people depended on the movement of the sun as being very dependable, like sunrises, sunsets. Same thing with the moon. And when they start doing things that they shouldn't be doing, well, guess what? It throws everybody off. And that's why you get that theme, that fear of disruption, including on culture. But not everybody, not all ancient cultures that that we even have adopted even today are not always seen as bad things. Okay, now, like I said, some people see it as a time of terror. Others look at a solar eclipse as just part of the natural order because it's happened before and it might happen again, and it deserves respect and even sometimes reconciliation, believe it or not. And some cultures explain the eclipses, again, of both the sun and the moon, which is what's happening today, as a time when demons or animals eat the sun or the moon. That's how they explained the absence of one and the other. Okay, now for example, the Vikings. Okay, the Vikings saw a pair of sky wolves. This is how they interpreted, in their mythology. The sky wolves were chasing the sun or the moon, and when one of the wolves caught up with it shining either the sun or the moon, this is when they would have the effect of an eclipse. All right, in Vietnam, it's a frog that eats the moon or the sun. Okay, and then there's a tribe out of Canada called the Quackatl tribe that they believe that the mouth of heaven opens up and eats the sun and the moon. That theme of being eaten is you see it all over the place. And as a matter of fact, the earliest word for eclipse in Chinese is shi, which means to eat. And of course you can see this because maybe with ancient cultures, which sometimes didn't have any other way of explaining how either the sun or the moon would disappear, they equated it to being eaten. Now, and I think this is real. I'm going to go outside and do this, as a matter of fact, when I finish. Some of these ancient people, these cultures, how they said that they were going to combat being devoured, because again, like all things, ancient people sometimes they kind of equated what was going to happen to the sun and the moon as to what was going to happen to them. They made noise. They made noise in order to scare the demons or the animal away, whatever it was that they thought was eating up the sun and the moon. Because let's face it, if this thing can eat the sun and the moon, it sure can eat people. So what they would do is they would take bang pots and pans, play on the drums, which most ancient cultures, even now, we have, to get whatever it was, just go away. Okay, in other words, just be satisfied with the sun and the moon and be on your way. And of course, what would happen is, of course, the eclipse would end and the sun and the moon would reappear. Okay, other mythology explains it as theft or deception. Okay, to explain this is why the sun or the moon is disappearing. In Korea, they talk about fire dogs that try to steal the sun or the moon on the orders of a king. Now, these mythical dogs, they try their best to capture the fiery sun hot and the ice cold moon. However, they always fail. But when they bite either the sun or the moon, this is when you get an eclipse. And the Hindu demon Rahu, he disguises himself as a god in order to steal a taste of elixir that grants immortality. And the sun and the moon see what he's up to, and they report his crime to the god Vishnu. Vishnu is part of the Hindu pantheon, and what Vishnu does is he slices off his head before this elixir can go past his throat, and as a consequence, Rahu, only his head turns immortal, but his body dies. Now, the demon's head continues to move through the sky, chasing the sun and the moon out of hatred. So, every now and then, this demon head actually catches up and swallows either the sun or the moon. But since Rahu has no throat, either the sun or the moon just falls out of the bottom of his head. I think that's so interesting. There's also another one out of Africa, in the area of Benin and Togo, where they see the sun and the moon are fighting during an eclipse, and the people of the earth encourage both the sun and the moon to stop fighting. They see it, as far as the event of an eclipse, as a time of coming together and resolving old feuds and angers. And as a matter of fact, they still have that belief system, which I think is a great idea. The Navajo, they also have traditions that they still hold even to present times, and the way they look at it is that they look at it from the point of the cosmic order of the universe, as everything having to be in harmony, in balance, and this is just part of nature's law. And you stop and acknowledge that it's a special moment, and you reflect on the cosmic order, which I think kind of is good, because it kind of draws you away from that everything is me, me, me. You know how people live like they're the center of the universe, and they need to open their views and see that there's more to just you. There's your people, where you live, your country, your world, and the cosmic order. So I think that's good, because it kind of draws attention away from yourself, as far as, look around you. Don't do this. So anyway, the Navajo, they still observe these traditions, and how they celebrate or associate the eclipses, that they stay inside with their families, and they sing certain songs, and they don't eat, drink, or sleep. Okay, and now one of the things that people think about is that, of course, absolutely, you are not supposed to look at an eclipse, because unless you have special glasses or equipment, all right, it can really damage your eyes. And they even before then, they still held that belief, that they were aware that if you looked at the sun with your eyes, that the sun would go out of balance with the universe and lead to problems down the road, and the eating and the drinking, which is why the Navajo have embraced this belief that just stay inside and keep your head down. Now, one of the most predominant misunderstandings that there is, having to do with eclipses, is that, and this is very persistent, is that there's a danger. I had to look at this stuff because this was incredible, that there's a danger to pregnant women and their unborn children during an eclipse. This is, again, there's a misconception. And the other one is, of course, that you can't look at the sun when it's complete, when the eclipse is occurring, which is true. However, if the sun is completely covered, it's okay to look at it. As a matter of fact, that's when you should be experiencing it, but you have to be really, really careful with that. As a matter of fact, you can even look at it as a chance to see the universe working. All right, this is the solar system doing what it's done for millions and millions of years. Now, let's get on to the really interesting stuff, because in truth, some of this, you just can't make it up. Aren't we humans wonderful? Anyway, the news over the last couple of weeks leading up to this big eclipse, which from what I understand, the way that it lines up, it's maybe happened for like 100 years, and it's only going to be seen here in the United States. Of course, the apocalyptic slant. It's like, of course, the darkness, and it's well, it's going to be viewable all across North America. There's a rumor of possibly seeing Lizard Man during the eclipse. Okay, Moss Man, who's a 6 to 8 foot tall species with no neck and large blazing red eyes. Wow. Can you imagine? Forget looking at the eclipse if you see something like that. Also, there's another theory about a planet called Nibiru, who might collide with the Earth and destroy us all shortly after the eclipse. Wow. Really? Okay. Let's keep going. Now, this belief was promoted by a Christian numerologist and doomsayer who, by the name of David Mead, and he's basing this on numerology, the number 33 in a biblical passage. And basically what he's believing is that the destruction of the earth is going to occur on September 23rd, 33 days after the eclipse. Okay, here we go. In Kentucky, they're tying the eclipse to extraterrestrials. Why not? On Monday, okay, which is today, it marks 62 years to the day when some locals engaged in that cowboys versus alien style battle with the Galactic Outsiders. You know that movie with Harrison Ford, Cowboys versus Aliens? And on the morning of August 21st, 1955, a man saw a bright object shoot across the Kentucky sky, and then it just crashed into a farmhouse. Now this alien had a large head, eyes, long arms, and claw-like hands. And there was a bunch of people there, party. And talk about the end of that party. And of course, what did everybody do? Shoot at it with a rifle shotgun. And this is remembered as the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, which influenced the making of E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Wow. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Really. Okay, this is for the flat earth believers. Some say that the sun and the moon are just holograms projected onto the sky to convince the masses, as in all of us, that we are part of the universe which we believe we're in. In other words, it's almost like nothing's for real. The red pill or the blue pill. Okay. Now, there's, of course, predictions. There's predictions tied into this eclipse. And based on good old Nostradamus, who said, supposedly, when the eclipse of the sun will then be, the monster will be seen in full day. Quite otherwise will one interpret it. High price unguarded, none will have foreseen it. Okay. So, what do people make of this? I hope somebody has an interpretation, because I sure don't. Okay, that the solar eclipse, okay, and the monster it's going to reveal could indicate the following prognostications. I hope you're ready for this. Putin will be revealed as the Antichrist. Putin will launch a missile attack against the U.S. and start World War III. Genghis Khan's tomb will be found and he will be reborn. I liked everything until the reborn part. An asteroid will collide with the Earth, causing a tidal wave. Aliens will invade Earth. Openly, you mean? Okay. A mysterious planet will hit Earth and wipe out all of humanity. I guess I shouldn't make my car payment. What do you think? It will be the beginning of one of the 10 plagues in the Bible. Aren't there any good prognostications? Destruction will continue until 2024 or the second solar eclipse. Okay. And then let's move on. Then we go on to interdimensional creatures. Yes. So, all the little nerds, myself included, let's go in that direction. All right, spooky and weird. It's like, of course, this event is going to open an interdimensional rift, allowing interdimensional creatures or even plunge us towards world destruction. Okay, everything has to go around interdimensional. Okay, now they think that, like I said before, that part of this interdimensional rip somehow or other caused by the eclipse is going to produce the sightings of lizard man, moss man, the aliens in Kentucky, the Nibiru planet that's going to collide with Earth. And let's get back to one of these cryptids, because yes, like all good nerds, I believe in cryptids, kind of, I guess, until I've seen one, and then that's anyway. Now this is what the legend of lizard man is about. Okay, now it first appeared around the 1970s, and it was described as this giant human-looking reptile that tried to attack a stranded motorist somewhere in South Carolina. Now this beast, this animal, whatever it was, jumped on the guy's car as he's going into town, frightened. Yeah, that's an understatement. So of course, when he gets into town, he tells the sheriff. Okay, now since then, many tales of lizard man being seen throughout South Carolina have, come up. And there's this suspicion that he's going to reappear during the eclipse, which is going to pass over at least 14 states. And as a matter of fact, I believe South Carolina, tongue-in-cheek, put out a little notice that, be prepared for sightings of lizard man. Okay, now they look at it that there's a few times each year where the veil separates the realities, or they become so thin that it opens up portals to other realms. Think of the show Stranger Things, Underworld, Okay, now this is why it allows the appearance of interdimensional creatures such as lizard man and moss man, and I think anything else that has been put under the cryptid file. Now the other times that supposedly the veil is thin is like around Halloween, Samhain, April 30th, which is what the German folklore calls Walpurgis Night, okay, which is when the witches revel with the devil, and today, when there's a total solar eclipse. All right, NASA has even chimed in on, tried to dispelling some of these conspiracy theories, saying that it's going to emit radiation, harming food, and all this poor health. They're saying no, not at all. Again, a thumbs down with the theory of the planet Nibiru, which is going to collide with the Earth. What great timing, time-wise, because of the eclipse. Okay, so they've kind of have said all of the above. No truth to it whatsoever. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a happy eclipse day. Hopefully none of those things will come to pass. I don't think they will. So at the end of the day, you know what you have to do? What I'm going to do, just in case, go and bang on some pots and pans and just make sure that whatever is eating the sun and the moon doesn't come after you. Take care.